Hi everyone, welcome to Philadelphia Fan Expo. We're at the Convention Center. I'm Collie Marshall, and we have the lovely and the pleasure to interview Miss Claudia Wells. You may know her from Back to the Future, playing Jennifer. And before we get started on the Jennifer announcement, there's one thing me and her actually discussed. Miss Elizabeth Shue, we all know that you had to take over the role on Back to the Future 2 and 3. And then many fans, especially in the Back to the Future fans community, would like you and Miss Claudia Wells to do a photo op as the two Jennifers to make the Back to the Future sensation.
At the Dallas Fan Expo.
Especially at the Dallas Fan Expo.
I would love that.
So everyone in the Back to the Future community, make sure you make that petition to make that possible and make it happen, especially if you want the two Jennifers.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Especially, it would be fun. On the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future, come on, it is 2025, started in 1985. And Miss Claudia Wells, how do you feel first and foremost?
Blessed, grateful, happy. And by the way, I've never met Elizabeth Shue, so this will be our first time ever.
So you heard that, everyone? She's never met Elizabeth Shue, so we need a real Back to the Future reunion since there's so many different conflictions and theories. You now dispel the rule with her and Elizabeth Shue never met, so the two Jennifers must meet once and for all.
And do photo ops.
And do photo ops for you, the fans. And also, thank you, Mr. Jerry Milani, for making this happen for Philadelphia Fan Expo. For the media press, I want to make sure I shouted you out.
Jerry! I auditioned, I screen tested for Adventures in Babysitting that she got. It was down to Elizabeth, Phoebe Cates, and me.
Wow. And then that launched the career of her and then Vincent D'Onofrio. And who knew now he's the kingpin of now Marvel. I mean, he's come along well.
Oh, I love him.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Law and Order, Men in Black. And Scott's got so much in movie.
I love him.
Yes, indeed. So you auditioned for the role of babysitting.
I screen tested.
That's amazing. You just never know how these worlds...
You never know. They all collide. And then I starred as Linda Barrett in Fast Times, based on the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which was Phoebe Cates' role. It's all synchronicity.
Yes, indeed. So let's start back in the year 1985. In fact, maybe even before that. So how did you first get the role of Back to the Future?
I auditioned and screen tested for many Amblin movies. So I screen tested for Gremlins, Goonies, Young Sherlock Holmes. I screen tested for every hit of the 80s.
And it doesn't get no bigger than that. I mean, that's the Spielberg universe to so many degrees
so
that he
I only
produced.
had one audition for Back to the Future. And I met with Steven Spielberg, Bob Gale, Bob Zemeckis, Neil Canton, Fenton Feinberg, Frank Marshall, all of them. And I was in there for 2.5 hours with a guy auditioning on his 11th callback for Marty. And then Eric Stoltz got the part. So I was Jennifer when Eric was Marty.
My goodness. And what was it like to, since many people are concerned, since everybody's wondering, is there a hidden film of Eric Stoltz of Back to the Future? Like,
I don't know. So what happened was a pilot I had done called Off the Rack with Ed Asner and Eileen Brennan already got picked up to be a mid-season replacement. At the same time, I was supposed to be Jennifer in Back to the Future. And
Gotcha.
ABC refused to share me with Amblin, so I actually had to back out and say I can't be Jennifer. They recast my part, shot with Eric for 9 weeks. Jennifer never filmed.
wow.
Then Michael got cast. I was done with my TV series. The girl they recast is tall. I'm short. And I got my part back.
And Eric Stoltz is super tall, but look at you and Michael J. Fox are very compatible in the height department.
Yeah, it worked with Eric too. There's pictures of us that were taken, that were supposed to be in his mom.
I actually have a limited poster with Eric Stoltz signing a mini portrait of Back to the Future. And since I never met him, I got one of his editions with the for the cast without his signature. So I would love for you to sign that one.
I'll totally sign that. And I met Eric when he became an actor at the beginning, when we were both in Stella Adler's acting masterclass.
And he's done great movies like Mask and Pulp Fiction, and the list goes on. Eric, so shout out to you. We really wish you the best.
I heard you're directing now, or have been for a while. Available.
I hope you hear that, Mrs. Stoltz. I need your autograph, man. I'd love to meet you and interview you to hear your side of the story. But yes, so Back to the Future, and then what was it like when you got casted for the part? Like, did it take all day long? Because people think movies are easy to make, and then when you find out how the real develop.
Oh, wow, it's a good question. I was only accustomed to television, other than opera when I was a kid. And in television, you do 14 pages in a day. In a movie, you do half a page in a day. I had never experienced that before.
Wow.
Very different genres.
Do you remember the first day on the film set of what you did?
Of course. It was the last scene of my character when
Wow.
when
Doc
Doc Brown
Brown.
comes out.
Marty.
Marty, you guys
Back
checked
to the
on your
Future.
kids?
I need to take you back. Back to the Future. Wow.
Yeah, that was
and y'all
my
never do a
first
little
day.
good kissing scene ever. It's always interrupted.
You know what? A lot of people don't notice that. You're absolutely right. Every single time it was interrupted.
Yep, from leaving school when you have to go get picked up by your father.
Yep.
Then the very end of the movie.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Good catch.
Hey, I had to, especially now that it's one of my favorite movies of all time and probably one of the best trilogies ever. It's like you can't remake that history. Then we hear so many reboots, and of course, Mr. Bob Gale has barely contended.
Never will there be a Back to the Future 4.
How?
But you've got the Back to the Future musical, the Telltale games that I did.
And speaking of that, so guys, if you don't remember, Back to the Future, the video game is on PS3 and PS4, a very limited edition, and it's played by some of the originals like Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox. He will not reprise Marty McFly, but I think he does play another character, and Miss Claudia Wells returns as Jennifer since the very first Back to the Future in
I
1985.
didn't realize Michael was in it.
Yeah, I think he plays another character. I think he plays another McFly relative.
How cool.
Yeah. So it's guys to have the whole band back together. What was it like to play in a video game since you are so used to doing films?
Loved it. I love voiceover work. Loved it. It was fun. It was easy. It came back to me immediately. And basically, I had to raise my voice a little higher because in age, my voice has gotten lower.
It's just amazing how you guys can reprise the role and sound almost exactly identical it is in the 80s.
It's shocking, isn't it?
My goodness. It's just, what is some of your best memories of Back to the Future?
Now, the opportunities I'm given, the people I get to meet, the love online, the family love shared by the whole wide world over one thing.
And what was it like to ride in a DeLorean? Like, did you actually get a chance to have it ride in the car? Or...
Yeah. Oh, I've been in a DeLorean so many times I've lost count.
I mean, like in the movie set, like, do they actually let y'all drive or they had stunts?
We just backed up
Gotcha.
and then went forward.
But it doesn't drive at 88 miles per hour. We all know that.
My parking spot for the last 18 years where I live is number 88. And they did not know I was an actress when I moved in.
See, just you never know these trivial things, guys. And also, you have we all know you love dogs.
Charlotte.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so the only person I miss when I travel is my doggie, Charlotte. I met 4 dogs today, so I'm very happy about that. I met her at a gas station, and she'd been homeless for a week, and she jumped into my arms and kissed my face and asked me to be her mommy. And I was like, of course I'll be your mommy. And that was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, you gotta love these sentimental moments. Another thing that some people have these theories and conflictions is that why you didn't reprise your roles after the first Back to the Future. Do you mind clearing that up, or is it this?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. They wanted me, and the part apparently was very big. I backed out and said thank you, no thank you, because my mom was dying.
So that was
And
true.
I was going through such an emotional trauma at the time for a long time, and I wasn't in a place to be an actress. I only could deal with what was in the real life situation of my world.
Thank you for clearing that, because there's so many theories out there, and then some people think there's just the drama on set, especially with the changes with Eric Stoltz,
No.
Crispin Glover. I mean, did you also get along with Crispin Glover as well?
I love Crispin. I went to high school with Crispin. We were in the drama department together. It was Crispin, it was Nick Coppola, who became Nicolas Cage, Johnny Silverman, who became famous because my agent went to see us in a play and then started representing him. And a week later, he was on Broadway in, I don't remember what it was.
That's a lot of name jobs. So you know Nicolas Cage, who was formerly known as Nicolas Coppola, and Crispin Glover. I mean, he's done good with Like Mike, Wilbur, and so many other films. It's just a shame that, all the casting changes and everything else. I just really hope things over time can get better with all these other different projects.
So I was standing in line to get my wristband for a party, and I hear this voice behind me. And I looked behind me and I went, Crispin? I'm Claudia Wells from Beverly Hills High School. And then we gave a big hug and all that from the drama department. And then both of us were like, oh, and Back to the Future.
My goodness. And how was your relationship with Bob Gale, Robert Zemeckis?
Okay, so Bob Gale is basically one of my top favorite humans on this entire planet. And we've been great friends ever since I did the movie. Bob Zemeckis is wonderful and genius, brilliant. I've only seen him a couple times. No, one time, I think, since the movie. He was super nice. It was at the Back to the Future musical premiere at the Pantages.
Wow.
But Bob Gale, I am constantly emailing that man saying, off to Paris, thank you for casting me. Off to Japan, thank you for casting me. He is the most straight, tell you the truth, humble, incredible, smart, great guy ever.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys, for the interruption. So yes, so we got about Robert Zemeckis and oh yeah, so was there anything you want to advertise for, like your website or business brand?
Yes, okay, so to find me online, ClaudiaWells.com, and to make an appointment at my store, find out information on that, it's ArmaniWells.com. And on most of the media sites, I'm the Claudia Wells, and TikTok, I'm Claudia Wells Official. And on YouTube, I'm Claudia Wells.
All right, everyone, and I'm going to have all that stuff in the link in the descriptions down below, and you'll see all her social media presence to find her. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Miss Wells, thank you so much for you. It's always a pleasure to meet you. God bless as well. And that's a wrap.